welcome back to my channel for this April wrap-up. I'll be showing you the bullet journal spreads that I made in my reading journal and share some of my thoughts in the books. I'll also start with the first sentence of the first chapter each time because I think that often it gives a nice little sneak peek into what the book is like. The first book I read was Kim Jiyoung, born 1982. Kim Jiyoung is 33 years old, or 34 in Korean age. This book combines fiction and facts through the story of Kim Jiyoung. The book is very character-based and explores gender inequality, misogyny, and sexism throughout all phases of Kim Jiyoung's life, aiming to portray the experiences of Korean women and definitely also resonating with women everywhere. I thought it was so well written with beautiful simplicity, and this book is also so informative and I learned so much. I mean, there are actual footnotes in the book with references, which I really appreciated. And I think it opens up a conversation not just about gender in Korea, but also the gender dynamics in our society at large. So to me, it is definitely a must-read for everyone. I would also really like to talk about the ending, but I don't include any spoilers. So all that I will say is that the ending just shows how good this book is, start to finish, and fully deserving of 5 stars. It is also a really short book, so if you are still hesitating, it will literally take you no time at all. I did find out there's also a movie of this one, but I haven't actually seen it, and I actually don't know if it would be available in English somewhere. But if anyone knows, let me know in the comments below. One of my favorite quotes from this book is, "The world had changed a great deal, but the little rules, contracts, and customs had not, which meant the world hadn't actually changed at all." I didn't manage to fit it into my spread, but I made note of it to include it in my favorites at the end of the year. In the spread, I tried to capture the informative and fiction combination by going for the typewriter font, but then also having the Polaroid photo, which I just made out of different types of paper. And I used one of the statement colors that my copy had because I thought it looked really great. Next, I read, or rather listened to, The Secret Garden by Hodgson Burnett. It starts with, "When Mary Lennox was sent to Misselthwaite Manor to live with her uncle, everybody said she was the most disagreeable looking child ever seen." It was my first time reading this book, and it was a classic I was actually really looking forward to reading, but I was left a little disappointed. It was a lovely story overall, but there were some really problematic racist sections which put me off from the start, and then the rest of the book was quite slow and the outdated language definitely didn't help. I actually listened to the audiobook, so I didn't even have to struggle through trying to read the Old Yorkshire in the book, and I could just listen to it. But I've liked it to be a little shorter because it kind of lost me a few times, and I also think that it needs to come with a conversation on colonialism and racism. The plot of the book is about Mary Lennox, a 10-year-old girl born in India to a wealthy British family. After her family dies in the cholera epidemic, she is sent to live with her uncle Archibald Craven in England at Misselthwaite Manor. Now, Mary at first is very rude and an unhappy child, but over time, through her search for the secret garden of her aunt and through new friendships, she really flourishes and grows into this whole new likable and happy person. In the end, I gave it 2 stars because the overall plot, the friendship, and growth was quite nice, but I can't say I enjoy it. I know a lot of people feel differently, but it also just doesn't harbor any nostalgic feelings for me because I never read it as a child. I only read about Matilda reading The Secret Garden, and I feel like that might have something to do with me not loving this book, but even so, I would not have been able to get past the white supremacy in this book, and in line with this, I've also left some resources in the description box below. For the spread, I wanted to create a lock through which you can see flowers, of course representing the secret garden. Other than that, I kept it very simple and just added a more classical font for the title. Next, I read If I Had Your Face by Frances Cha, which starts with, Sujin is hell-bent on becoming a room salon girl. She has invited Curie from across the hall to her tiny apartment, and the three of us are sitting on the floor in a little triangle, looking out the window over a bar-dotted street. The book is set in Seoul and follows the lives of 5 women scrambling to navigate through their lives in the city. The main theme of the book is the Korean beauty standards, and with that, the widespread plastic surgery. But what Frances Cha does so well is that she doesn't write about it as an isolated issue, but she ties it in with so much more, including the difficulties advancing in the job market, K-pop, and the absorbing obsession that some of their fans have, room salons where wealthy businessmen go after hours, and social hierarchies, etc. And while the book confronts you with all these troubling issues, at the same time, the book also beautifully portrays the friendship among these women and the support and solidarity among them as they all attempt to maneuver through all these expectations and struggles. The way the book is set up is that different chapters are written from different perspectives of these women, which I thought might make it a little challenging to read, but the characters are all so amazingly portrayed and their voices come through so clearly that it just really works well. I ended up giving it 4 stars because I enjoyed reading it and it was beautifully written. Next was Honor by Elif Shafak. My mother died twice. I promised myself I would not let her story be forgotten, but I could never find the time or the will or the courage to write about it. This book might just be my new favorite. It was definitely a good month overall, since this is one of the 2 5 stars I gave this month. Both the writing and the story are just so amazing. I was gripped from page 1 and loved it all the way through. The book follows twin sisters born in a Kurdish village, and while one stays there to become a midwife, the other one moves to London with her husband. I think overall you could say that the themes are love, family dynamics, old traditions versus fitting into your new environment. But to be honest, this book goes so much deeper and will end up having you reflect on religion, the things you believe in, the meaning of life, the human existence, all of that. It's just absolutely stunning, and I give it 5 stars. Lastly, I read The Song of Achilles by Madeline. My father was a king and the son of kings. I cannot count how many times I saw this book recommended, but I finally got to it and I was not disappointed. I was a little wary because I've never really been into Greek mythology, and this is an adaptation of the Iliad, and so a retelling of the Trojan War, so I wasn't sure if I really wanted to read that, and I was really dreading having to remember all the names and the characters, but I actually really enjoyed reading it. It really focuses on the relation between Achilles and Patroclus from when they meet to the end of the Trojan War. The writing is immaculate, and I haven't read anyone describing feelings and love as well as Madeline Miller in a while, so it was very moving to read. It is heartbreaking and heartwarming at the same time. I give it 4 stars, and I think it's perfectly accessible for anyone who does not know anything about Greek mythology. The characters are introduced like in any novel, assuming that you don't know who they are. The reason I finally picked up a copy of this is because I saw this beautiful edition, and so of course I had to make it the inspiration for the spread. It is basically just a bow/heart, and then I filled in the sides with some quotes in my review. So that was it for this month. I hope you guys enjoyed the spreads. Let me know what you've been reading, or if you've read any of these books, let me know what you thought of them. Thank you for watching. Have a nice day, and see you next time.